back. North Melbourne, you must remember, will also have to bounce back after their shock defeat by St Kilda down at Moorabbin last week. So the scene is set for what should be a good game. I might at this early stage get predictions from, firstly, Ross Glendinning. What are your thoughts, Ross?
Well, on form, certainly I'd have to go for North Melbourne. And even though they lost narrowly last week, a very competitive side, particularly under lights here at the MCG.
The Bears through Mick and a chance to go down towards Capper. He's got to beat two of them. Can't do so. It's pushed towards the boundary line and taken over. So a throw in to take place, but the Bears in attack with Brett Allison going over the line. There is the North bench with Chandler
and McCarthy
sitting on the bench. Peter McKenna, your thoughts?
North Melbourne.
North Melbourne, thank you very much. Banfield, a chance for a snap. Doesn't quite get onto it, can't pull it far enough in. It's high, in towards the pocket. Schwass is having a great season, this young man. A chance to run it clear with a hand pass. Looks towards Arceri, puts him under plenty of pressure. The Bears showing plenty of desperation early, and umpire Goldspink will come in and have a bounce.
Number 43 you saw on the bottom of the pack. There's Mark Zanotti on screen on the bench. It was young Marcus Ashcroft, been playing particularly well in the seconds for the Bears, and he's got his big chance tonight. There's Micken. McDonald bumped off the ball, and I think there might have been a free kick to Donald McDonald. Was caught high, and the ball will be taken back to half back. Not a tall ruckman, but a real goer.
Yeah, very competitive, Peter.
And full of enthusiasm, Donald McDonald, as he brings it right out towards centre winger. Packer players, Mark Roberts with the big fist away. This is Williams, a clever little hand pass. Cross to the running player in Matthew Campbell, looking for Kappa, can't quite take the mark. Hand pass from Martin, comes across to Matthew Larkin, and North Melbourne get out of trouble. Lovely kick out wide towards Asiri, who's been in great form in recent weeks. He takes it further afield towards half forward, 2-on-1. And Hardy for the Brisbane Bears takes it over the line.
With him is Peter German, wearing 29 for North Melbourne. As we have a throw in, the Roos a chance to go into attack for the first time. It's on their right half forward flank, drifting down towards their attacking 50-metre line. Steve Reynoldsson at the bottom of the pack farms it wide, pushes back towards centre wing. Socket off the ground by Ross Smith, down towards Cracker, can't take the mark. A chance for Phillips to clear for the Bears. He elects to go wide, very wide, towards Walsh. Coming over the top was Schwash. Now Phil Cracker pushing the ball along in front, flicks it back towards Schwash. He may be beaten by numbers here. Hardy's working desperately hard for the Bears and eventually gets it cleared. Back towards Rod Lester-Smith on that outer side. With him is Phil Cracker, but the ball beats them both over the line, and another throw in. Well, if there was pressure on any person, I guess you'd say there's probably plenty of pressure on Peter Knights tonight. He's had a rough old time, and let's hope that his side can perform well. Reynoldsson again, tapping it wide towards centre wing. Back towards Cracker, however, the kick came from Ross Smith in towards the pocket, over the line once again.
And North Melbourne starting with Paul Bryce at full forward, having been named at full back. And Rod Lester-Smith lining up in the back line for the Bears, having been named in the forward line.
Hepburn against Reynoldsson, two not over tall ruckmen there. Matthew Campbell, Hardy, and probably good to see Hardy playing in defence. I think that's where he plays his best football, as he brings it out wide to centre wing. A one-on-one contest out here. Oh, lucky bounce to Brett Allison. Young Ashcroft overran the ball. The short pass is a good one. Hepburn from close to the centre, a long kick to full forward. Is it a mark to Bryce? Didn't quite hold it long enough. Dale Dixon loses it to Cracker. In after it again is Dixon, the former Melbourne player, brings it to half back, and the mark has been taken down there for the Bears by young Chris O'Sullivan. He goes on further towards Roberts, to Matthew Campbell. Campbell to half forward. The mark is not held, and a throw-in will take place.
You mentioned Chris O'Sullivan, a big night for him, first gamer, and of course the brother of Shane O'Sullivan, who is in charge of the Brisbane Bears.
And a champion player with a famous school here in Melbourne, Xavier College.
Throw in, the Brisbane Bears in attack. Micken trying to go over the top, looking to come away with it. Was O'Keefe, couldn't do so. They pack it up. The umpire's allowing play to go on. Banfield couldn't get it out. Larkin flicks it wide. Now Syria chance to kick North Melbourne clear. Back towards centre wing it goes. Plenty of ruse there. But umpire Clayton has deemed a throw. It will go back to Donald McDonald, and he will put North into attack. Looking for some movement up forward. He goes long. Bryce comes out. Can't take the mark. Fisted clear. Williams Picks it up, goes back towards Campbell. He's under plenty of pressure. Williams gives assistance, his hand pass going into the space. O'Sullivan's finding out what it's all about as he goes to ground. So too does Banfield. With him is David Dwyer, and umpire Clayton has no alternative but to have another bounce. So a scrambly start, but plenty of pressure, Ross.
Yes, my word, and the players obviously slipping as those dewy conditions as they were in the reserves earlier.
McDonald charging at Reynoldsson. It's Reynoldsson who wins it. Campbell pushes it further forward. Now a chance for Law of North Melbourne. John Law's kick goes down towards centre half forward. Bryce again the target, tapped away towards Brad Hardy, and over the line it goes. Hardy with Peter German. Not a big crowd tonight, but an enthusiastic one. Hepburn and Reynoldsson again. Reynoldsson using the right hand. Slipping at the crucial stage was Dixon. Back again to Spargo, who flicks it high in towards Bryce. Could have almost been interfered with. He gets up and has another go. Certainly under plenty of pressure. Jimmy Cracker and Kickett trying to get it out for North Melbourne. Arceri is also there. Jimmy Cracker it is who gets it out, but Roberts will clear for the Bears. His kick is wide, bounces just inside the line, and so a throw in North Melbourne's right forward pocket.
Conditions not easy out there tonight. It's a little bit dewy, and already a few of the players have slipped. Here's Mark Roberts. He allows Brenton Phillips, his teammate, to take away. Now it's Paul Spargo. Shuffles out a hand pass. Quick kickers by David Dwyer. Bryce using his body. Back after it. Here's a chance with a Syria hand pass over the top. Grabbed by Lester Smith, who's been in fine form this year. His quick kick comes, beautifully picked up by Wayne Schwass. Shuffles it away. Strong play by Lester Smith. Beautiful defensive play. And what a great pass that was to Campbell. Campbell's gone wide to Gastev. He in turn, young Ashcroft. Yes, a good mark. Right out there at half-forward flank. The youngster, Marcus Ashcroft. His first league game, and has been in outstanding form in the reserves. Over the back of the pack. A chance for the Bears. O'Sullivan, brilliantly done. Chris O'Sullivan into an open goal, and what a great start by the youngster.
Yes, well, you called it, Peter. A fine start to the Bears, particularly for young Chris O'Sullivan. As you said earlier on, his first game. He's very, very keen to impress his teammates and selectors accordingly. And O'Sullivan, I think, could be a fine prospect, as is young Marcus Ashcroft, who kicked that ball. And, in fact, Ashcroft, former 88 captain of the Teal Cup team. You see the play here. Well done. Chris O'Sullivan charging straight through.
So back in the centre. And a good start for the Brisbane Bears. One straight goal on the board. Well, Micken charged at McDonald on that occasion. Couldn't get it clear there. You can see the amount of time remaining in this first quarter. Phillips marks it half back. Pushes it out wide. Gastev is there. So too is Roberts. With them Schwash. And the ball goes over the line.
Mark Roberts, centre half back for the Brisbane Bears, picking up Mark Hepburn for North Melbourne.
Williams under pressure again. So too Spargo. The tackling by both sides has been pretty ferocious in this first quarter.
Gastev with the free kick there, Sandy, for the tackle on Spargo. Umpire Deming holding the ball.
So John Gastev at half back to put the Bears out of trouble. They've had a good start. Campbell in front. Micken was there also, unable to mark. Law under pressure. May have been held when he didn't have it. The offending player was Philip Walsh. So North through Law. Go back towards the half-forward line once again. Gastev again sees it over the line with Mark Hepburn. So another throw-in on that outer side. McDonald and Reynoldsson. McDonald this time, but who can take it away? Walsh is claimed. German in there battling hard for the Roos, as he always does. And once again, another bounce.
And Sandy, the Bears with 8 changes in this game, obviously trying to get the right formula. And I think that's the right move to try and get some new blood into the side, inject some life. Well,
they're showing plenty of life at the moment. Reynoldsson beaten on that occasion. tap towards the 50-metre line. The pressure now on Roberts. Dwyer is beautifully tackled, loses the football. Hardy in there. Roberts tries to soccer it clear. Umpire Goldspeak has found a free kick, and it will go to the big man in Roberts. Out towards Matthew Campbell he goes. He's got to beat two of them. In fact, it'll bounce back to Philip Walsh. Beautiful kicker of a football, Walsh. He centres this to half forward and finds Micken. The Bears again a chance. Will he look for Kappa? No, he goes the other way. It's Merritt. Pushed down in front. Hardy is there. He's got plenty of support. This was young Ashcroft. Gives it to him. He shoots in towards full forward. Kappa does the shepherding and it hits the post.
Well, young Ashcroft's been in the two sorties for goal. First his kick earlier on, that's Chris O'Sullivan picked up the crumbs and kicked a goal from. That time feeding the ball to Brad Hardy.
Great start this by the Bears. They're pretty ferocious and they've received a lot of criticism in the press during the week, and they might rebound. Let's hope it's a very good game of football. That's shuffled out by Buckley over to Allison, to Spargo, centre of the ground. Paul Spargo unloads with a long drop putt. Oh, great kick. Goal.
There's terrific driving goal from Paul Spargo there. Wearing some maybe wetsuit pants to try and keep those damaged hamstrings nice and warm throughout this game. Elected to go long. As you see here on replay, the ball spilling over the back. Ben Buckley playing very strongly here, feeding the ball out quickly to Allison. Nice left-hand handball with Spargo driving through the centre there. Bryce did lead out from full forward Lester Smith. Elected to go long. Bryce a bit of shepherding in the square. Didn't have to do much there, let that ball through.
Back in the middle. Quick reply by the Roos. Can they go forward again? Working hard was Buckley. Just under 15 minutes remaining. To the half-forward line. Kickett. Derek Kickett. Oh, let's go with a long left foot kick. There's no one in the square. It's a goal.
What's the difference? Good reply that by North Melbourne. And it's in that centre huddle. And umpire Ian Clayton will take the ball from Scott McIver and bounce it. A couple of key North Melbourne supporters. Not many supporters here tonight. But well, there's Spargo and McIver getting into one another. This is McGrath. Quick kick towards half forward. Here's Phil Cracker. Great to see him back in the side with his terrific skill. Now here he is with a hand pass. Further afield to Ross Smith. Smith onto the left. Towards half forward. Oh, strong tackle was on German. Punched away. Here's Kickett again. On the right foot goes Derek Kickett. Kicks a goal across the face and puts it through for a behind. So now the difference is 6 points. 2-1 North Melbourne. The Brisbane Bears 1-1. And Derek Kickett looking dangerous. This man's been in fine form this year, Rod Lester Smith.
Good knock on there from Donald McDonald too, Peter.
Lester Smith. Right, oh, beautiful kick too. And he's found Mark Micken out on the half-back line.
So Micken to put the Bears out of trouble, or they play on with the handball. It comes to Bamfield. He's got Roberts running in the centre, gets past Kickett, goes down towards the half-forward line, almost to the 50-metre line now for the Bears. The handball over the top was by the youngster in Ashcroft, still 50 metres out. McIver claimed, his hand pass goes astray. A chance for the Northerners to get out of trouble. Larkin on the end of the hand pass, kicks towards centre wing. German is there, snares it well. Kickett is loose on the 50-metre line. Can he get there? Chasing is Hardy. Hardy and Kickett. Hardy gets front spot. Well played. Gets away from Arceri. Kicks across the face of goal. Philip Walsh with courage goes for the football. Can't take it. It's tapped in towards full forward. Past Micken it goes. Hardy is there once again. Gives it to Roberts. The Bears defence under tremendous pressure at the moment. And there is an example of the pressure as the kick by Peter Bamfield bounces just inside the line. And we will have a throw in. 6 points in it. North Melbourne 2-1. The Bears 1 goal 1. Again, straight to the boundary line, straight towards the interchange bench. The ladies have rugged up tonight. Well, they should. Pretty cool here in Melbourne. Here's the throw in again. McDonald coming over the top. Smith soccers off the ground, down towards German. Back to Smith again. He goes long, in towards full forward. Bryce elects to wait. Siri waits down, shoots towards goal at one behind.
Well, Paul Bryce really is making Rod Lester-Smith work hard. He's getting to the front position on every occasion, and very well rode there by Mark Arcieri, who's probably he's their second highest goal kicker for the season with 17, just short of Ian Fairley, who's not playing tonight, who's kicked 18 for the year so far.
They're playing the huddle at centre half back, and then they feed off from that. Lester-Smith kicking long up the centre, kick it at the back flies, couldn't take the mark. Players crash in after it. This is Donald McDonald. Now he's going to run onto the right foot from 50 metres and kick long at the goal. Will it get there? I think that might have just reached the line. It did.
Well, a second driving goal from North Melbourne. Donald McDonald given all the space in the world. Good teamwork from his players around to do a bit of shepherding, some also calling to let him know that he is free. Ran very quickly forward. And for Donald McDonald, it's a great kick. He did the right thing by steadying to come around onto his right, not to go left as most players would, and Rod Lester-Smith not getting there in time.
So 3 great goals to North Melbourne by McDonald, Kickett and Spargo. McDonald in the thick of things once again, but it's Micken who wins the tap out. Cracker tries to tap on. McIver comes away with it, gives it to Roberts, who goes with a long torpedo punt kick down towards full forward. Martin stockers it straight back to the centre to Buckley.
Well, Ben Buckley assuming he's got 50, and he has now.
Well, that's going to take him inside the 50-metre line. Justified, Ross?
I think so. It was late. Roberts could have avoided that. He was very late on it. And then I think the end result was that Mark Williams held on the ball for too long.
Great courage by Buckley, Ross.
He never took his eyes off the ball. One of the difficult marks to take, the spiral torpedo coming down like that.
Ben Buckley, 40 metres out, directly in front. Is this number 4 for the Kangaroos? Straight through the middle.
Another good goal to North Melbourne. Ben Buckley doing a job tonight, as he normally does on a better player from the opposition. He's with Mark Williams, the Brisbane Bears vice-captain. And he's done some great work this year, tagging some very good players in opposition sides, and very rarely has he played poorly. And he'd be pleased with that goal.
19 points the difference. North doing it well. Very difficult side to contain, North Melbourne. Full of energy, and they're real goers, a lot of them. Donald versus Micken. Micken with the left hand to Dixon. Quick kick towards half forward. One-on-one contest. Chance for Ashcroft. Oh, cleverly to Campbell. Well done. Campbell into an open goal has missed. So they've missed a couple of sitters, Ross.
Yes, and again, Ashcroft's been involved in all those shots at goal. And Matthew Campbell, the skill that he does have, both sides of his body, should have kicked a goal there.
Former South Australian State of Origin representative too, and has done well in those matches. Now, Michael Martin, that's going to be a terrific contest. He and Kappa. Martin, a very tough customer. Ross Smith, talking about tough. He's another one of them. And always plays well. The ball is on centre wing. Brett Allison has run over it. Hepburn's there. And a loose ball. There's holding the man decision. It will go North Melbourne's way to Brett Allison on centre wing.
Great persistence there.
Allison. Oh, there's some loose checking by players down in that half-forward line. Dwyer was on his own, fires towards goal and may get another kick if necessary. He was all on his own at the 50-metre line. The umpire is going to come back now and say you can have the second kick. So David Dwyer will kick from possibly just inside 50. Looking for North's 5th goal for the evening. Drifting it away to the right, and one behind is sneaking in.
Well, David Dwyer, in fact, from that first shot at goal, as he's running down the ground over the 50-metre line, had Mark Arcieri to his right-hand side about 5 metres away. Never saw him, and he would have had an even better shot at goal, being about 15 metres clear of anyone.
Lester Smith. Long kick to half back. And he's found his teammate there in the centre of the ground in Scott McIver. He's gone to centre wing, and the ball is fisted over. And Ross, Ben Buckley would be a difficult man to play on, I think.
Oh yes, he's deceptively tall. He's 6'1", very strong, and is as fit as anything. So a very difficult customer to shake off.
Well, it's still on centre wing. The big punch back towards the line, and Scott McIver quite happy to see that travel over. The scoreboard showing North Melbourne 4-3, Brisbane on 1-2. John Dugdale up there with John Kennedy, former great North Melbourne full forward and fullback in his later years. Of course, he had two sons also play for North, Dean and Glenn. Now, that hand pass comes out to Larkin from Cracker. On to Buckley. Buckley to Bryce at the back. Yes, and his man, Lester Smith, left him then. Bryce has got
on the mark,
an
Peter.
open goal as he runs to 50 metres. No one on the mark as Ross Glendon in centre. Bad play by the Bears. Goal to North.
33 plays 8 in this first quarter here at the MCG. The Roos to go into attack again from a free kick in the middle, and it'll be Donald McDonald. We've seen how far he can kick a football already tonight. He'll go well inside 50. Bryce doing the jostling. Who's waiting down inside? The slippery conditions making it difficult as Dixon is beautifully claimed by Cracker. A cry for holding the ball. Pushed wide towards German, but just tapping it over the line in front of him was Peter Banfield. And so we'll have another throw in. But the Roos now doing the bulk of the attacking. And kicking long and direct into goal, looking pretty good. Reynoldsson with the left hand. McIver's kick is smothered. Dixon shepherds for Hardy. Almost claimed. Oh, kick it. Has an area. He may get a second chance. No, gets flattened. Reynoldsson gets it away. Back to Banfield. It finishes. He kicks long over the centre. Merritt trying to tap over the back. Does so looking for Ashcroft. Can't find him at the moment. Merritt goes in again. They stack up and the umpire will come in and have a bounce.
But Hardy lucky to get away with that kick, Sandy, wasn't he? Luckily he got a good bounce.
And in fact, he's decided on a free kick to Merritt. Merritt and McDonald having a bit of a chat. Nicely across to Walsh. Back to Ashcroft. Can the youngster do something with it, or his hand pass goes astray? He'd be a very nervous young man tonight playing in his first game. Schwash almost claimed. Some heavy tackling going on. Coming away with it is Spargo. High to the outer side of the ground. And a tremendous diving mark taken by Arceri. Great use of the body by the little man. Smallest man on the ground. Kick to the outer side. Peter German. North fans pretty enthusiastic. Looking for Kickett. Can't mark. Waiting down was Hepburn. Hardy there. Kick it again over the top. May have infringed on this occasion. And the ball will go back to former Brownlow medalist Brad Hardy.
Brad Hardy showing enormous skill down there on the back line, but has got a lot of support. And North are banging it down there time and time again. Campbell's dropped the sitter and just took his eyes off it at the split second. That ball's still in play. Swass lost it though to Roberts. Roberts, a long driving kick now. Is that out in the full? No, the boundary umpire had a good view of that one. He'll throw it in halfway between centre wing and half forward for the Bears. Here's young Marcus Ashcroft. He'd be a pretty nervous boy tonight, but good to see the Bears playing a few youngsters. Merritt against McGrath. Merritt cleverly taps it over the back. There's only one man there though, and it's Marcus Arceri. Been in great touch in recent weeks. Jimmy Cracker to Hardy. Quick kickers by Dale Dixon. And the mark has been taken by Reynoldsson at half packet. The North supporters didn't think it travelled the required distance. This is Reynoldsson. Merritt sets himself in front, and then McGrath cleverly chips in. Merritt a fresh air shot. In after it again. McGrath tackles him. The ball at half forward for the Bears, and the bounce will take place.
Good test for young Tim McGrath too in his first game, play on Roger Merritt. Likely good player too, Tim McGrath.
Fair initiation, isn't it?
It is, my word.
Let's see if the Bears can convert here. Just on 4 minutes remaining. They've got it down in their attacking zone. Merritt tries to come away with it. His hand pass goes straight to Arceri, who kicks to the outer wing. Peter German in front. German to send North Melbourne forward. A high kick to centre half forward. Roberts fists away. Oh, at the back is Kickett. Onto the right boot this time. Pulls it back. Is it going to bounce through? I think it has. Another one to Derek Kickett.
Derek kick it there. A little bit too lively for Brenton Phillips of the Brisbane Bears, and showing his ability with both feet, having kicked a long left foot torpedo goal earlier on over about 60 metres. That time around on his right side, as we see here on the replay. Good contest here between the two players as the ball spilled free to kick it. Slightly lucky rebound there, but he read it better than Phillips, and a good goal.
Well, the Bears will really have to get a move on. 6-3 plays 1-2, and if they don't kick some quick goals, they could cop a heck of a hiding tonight. Let's hope not. Want to see a good contest. There's a quick kick by Banfield down towards half forward. Now it's Kennedy going for the one off the ground now. Thought it could have been a slight push in the back. The umpire didn't think so. Ian Clayton, with a good view of it, will bounce it at half forward.
And Peter, looks as though Paul Spargo may have damaged his hamstring again. Young Jeff Chandler coming onto the ground.
He doesn't look too happy, and that's rotten luck, because once those hamstrings are with you, they can stay around for a long time. There's a quick kick away from half-back for North. Dwyer, or heavily bumped. Williams to Phillips. Phillips wide to half forward. The mark has been taken by Campbell. Now, he was almost off then and slipped. Umpire thought so, and...
No, he's giving the benefit of the doubt there, Peter.
Well, he certainly was attempting to go off, but slipped as he went. Now, let's see if Kappa can take a mark. He's at the back. Warwick Kappa flies, can't take it. Down to ground it goes. This is McGrath, as Ross Glendinning said, playing on merit. Quick kick out, and the mark has been taken by Philip Walsh.
Walsh again looking for Kappa.
Great mark by Swass.
He's a great player, Schwartz. That could almost be 50 metres. A little bit of frustration perhaps creeping in there. He's a good young player, Wayne Schwartz. In towards the centre. McIver again for the Bears. Gets it away to Roberts, who tries to go further forward to Walsh. Intercepted, however. Donald McDonald now a chance for North Melbourne. Gets it away to Smith. He goes wider again. The Roos looking good as they go down towards that half-forward line. Hardy gives a bit of a nudge. It goes unnoticed, and he takes the mark.
Very clever, that.
It was well done, yes.
Brad Hardy, nearing his milestone of 100 games. Kicks into the centre. Phillips from the middle to half forward. Here's a chance for the Bears. They've got a couple of players loose. Ashcroft, what will he do? Decides to centre. Looking for Merritt. He's got to beat two of them. Oh, and he's going to. The hand pass over the top to Mick, and he should goal, and does.
That goal
is the bounce to get the second quarter underway. From the middle, flicked on by Micken. Going wide, kick it, does the shepherding for Dwyer. North Melbourne go down towards Bryce again. He chances his arm, gets a bad bounce. Hardy waits. Coming in is McGrath. Smothered, however. Goes after it once more towards the boundary line. Gee, he's got some desperation, young McGrath. Gastev comes in over the top.
Unusual to see Brad Hardy wait there. Stopped and propped. He would normally go straight through.
And McGrath goes charging back. Well, his man is Roger Merritt, who's still 50 metres away, going down to the other end of the ground. Hardy this time does clear for the Brisbane Bears. Back towards the half-back line. Micken caught behind two North Melbourne players, and the ball is pushed over the boundary line. So a throw in on the outer side. Mark Hepburn is 34, but let's watch Reynoldson from the back. Gets it down towards McIver. Buckley does the tackling. Mark Williams soccers off the ground. It will be a little slippery, this football now, with foggy, dewy conditions. Wide again. And the umpire, I think, has picked out a free kick. Chris Sullivan has it.
Mark Williams.
But he will go back, yes, to the former skipper of Collingwood, Mark Williams. In towards the middle, standing his ground in front, Steve Reynoldson. The Bears wanting a couple of quick goals to get back into this game. Roberts is marked on 50 metres. He doesn't know what to do. Elects to go short. Got a couple of options. Did it well in the end because he had two players down there in that forward region. And he selected Marcus Ashcroft, who's going to have a shot. Now, this would be a big thrill for this first gamer if he could goal. It's very close. Has he made it? No, just going the wrong side of the post. So disappointment for the youngster. One behind when they wanted goals. They trailed by 24 points.
Michael Martin on screen, a pretty tough customer. He has got the big job on Kappa. Kappa is yet to have a touch, I feel. There's Dwyer going wide. Matthew Larkin, brilliant player Larkin from centre wing, brings it to Bryce. Oh, into his back. Is that a free? The umpire didn't think so. Gastev waits at the back. Beautiful chip pass finds Reynoldsson. That's what they've got to do. Use that ball a little bit better. Merritt in front, taps it away. Good play, Roger Merritt. Over to O'Keefe. Here's a chance for the Bears. O'Keefe has the handball smothered. Beautifully punched back to Jimmy Cracker. North battling away. Chandler against Micken. Now John Law lends a hand to McGrath. McGrath over the top to Buckley. He's tackled hard. The Bears doing well in this passage of play. Shuffled out to Williams. Then to Dixon. Dixon the quick kick. Kappa and Merritt. Here's Kappa with a chance. Goes to Merritt off the ground, and it's a goal.
Yeah, so Roger Merritt bringing up his first goal for the game. He never stops trying, Roger Merritt. He's going to give Tim McGrath a nice initiation into league football. McGrath will certainly be up to the task, being a Morris Medal winner from last year. But the persistence of Roger Merritt just coming back on Kappa as he contested back there with Michael Martin. As you see there on replay, the ball coming down, the contest there. Kappa did well to get the ball out, and Merritt cleverly off the ground for a goal.
So can the Bears continue to close the gap? They trail by 18 points. There's an infringement in the square, and it's going to go the way of North Melbourne. The Roos, incidentally, wearing black armbands tonight in memory of Jack Adams, who was the former secretary of the North Melbourne Football Club and a great man. Lester Smith asking for it. He's not going to be given it. And the question may probably be asked was, should he not have punched the ball away?
Yes, but also I thought there may have been a free kick there to Steve Reynoldsson, who was in front of the pack and was infringed. We see here, the bump, oh no, a bit of a stage there. Well done, umpire. Correct decision. But yes, you're right, Sandy. Lester Smith should have punched.
Paul Bryce directly in front. The left foot drop punt is on its way. The goal umpire does not move.
That's Paul Bryce's second goal for the game. He's proving a bit of a handful there for Rod Lester-Smith because he's competing so hard. Now going for a run in the ruck with Donald coming down to full forward. I can just touch there on Jack Adams. The Adams family as a whole were sensational contributors to North Melbourne and to football in general. It's a sad passing and dearly missed by North Melbourne and football in general.
I think his popularity was borne out by the number of people at his funeral during the week. 45 plays 21. Once again, the margin is 24 points, favouring North Melbourne. Once again, it's Reynoldsson who wins it. But can they take it out of the middle? Law's kick is only short. Dwyer can't control it. Dixon tries to steal it. He's still going in there. Dixon does well. He persisted hard. The kick now is high towards Derek Kiggett. He's an exciting player to watch. Look at that play. This time onto the left foot by Kiggett. No one able to take it on the half volley. Back to Hardy. Centres the hand pass. Lester Smith looking for a nice bounce. Doesn't get it and gets claimed at the same time. Banfield kicks high. Law shows courage as he goes back with the football and takes a timely mark.
Yes, well done, John Law. Over to Brad Allison. Allison swings onto the left. Jimmy Cracker at the back flies. And he pulls it in too.
Set himself well, didn't he?
He's a very good overhead mark for a little man, Jimmy Cracker, as he brings it further afield. Peter German puts his body in front and he takes a strong mark. German will have to kick from about the 50-metre line, right out in that half-forward flank. And I think he fancies he can make the distance from there, Peter German. Taking plenty of time over this one. Right on the 50-metre line, a beautiful-looking drop punt. That is a great kick. That's a goal. Paul Bryce versus Mark Micken. Bryce actually got that hit out to Schwass. Here's Reynoldsson on the left. Bringing it down to McIver, who went for it one-handed, but he charges in after it. And lying on top of the ball was O'Keefe. The North players appealing for holding the ball there, Ross.
Yeah, justly so. O'Keefe did lie on that ball, but again, the umpire construing that he didn't have a chance to get rid of it.
Just outside 50 for the Bears. Won by McGrath, taken by Williams. Gets the handball away, puts O'Keefe under pressure. Buckley, a fine tackle. Kick it. Look at the hand pass to Arceri. Great play, North Melbourne, towards the 50-metre line. This is Jim Cracker. The hand pass over the top is clever to German. Will he try for another one or centre it? He does the latter. Over the top of Chandler it goes. The Bears defence under real pressure. Banfield soccers wide. Straight to Bryce. Onto the left foot he goes, but there's a nest of Brisbane Bears players there. And once again, they should get out of trouble. From the middle. Kick coming from Dale Dixon. Tap back towards the half-forward line once again. Sweeping hand pass by Larkin to Arceri over the top to Cracker, running past is Chandler. He's in the pocket, he shoots and he puts through behind.
Well, perhaps Jeff Chandler had a chance to steady and take an extra step and come to his right foot, his natural kicking foot. But a fine tap out there from the centre by Mark Hepburn, doing some good work in the centre bounce downs and at centre half forward.
Rod Lester-Smith, former Hawthorn star, and had a number of injuries when he first went to the Bears, but now showing fine form. Good mark to Reynolds. They want more of that. Over to Matthew Campbell. Beautiful kick. A man uncontested down there is Marcus Ashcroft. And a long kick towards full forward. Micken at the back. Couldn't quite hold it. Oh, he had his name written all over that one. Eventually it's forced through by Ross Smith for a behind to the Brisbane Bears. That takes their score onto 3-4. North on 8-4. 5 goals the difference.
Yes, and Brett Allison giving Marcus Ashcroft far too much room to move around. He's been caught out on 4 or 5 occasions now.
I wonder if Kappa's been moved. He's out in the half-forward flank. That's a lovely mark to Bryce. He certainly can take a mark. Be interesting. We might pick that up in a moment, see where Kappa is. This is Dwyer over the top. Larkin, the very short hairdo, Matthew Larkin, to a series. He's been in great form all year. Phil Cracker in front. Punched away from him. Mark Roberts cleverly taps it to the line. He's quite happy to see it go over.
Yes, well, Peter, in fact, Peter Knight's resting his ruckman at full forward and having Kappa play in front a little, with Micken and Merritt sitting right at the back.
Throw in. Swash tries to storm his way through. Can't do so. Dwyer does likewise. A little more success. Now Reynoldson. A chance to clear off to Banfield. Over the centre he goes. Looking for Merritt. Can't mark it. With him is McGrath. The youngster does well as he gets it away to Ross Smith, but his kick drops short. Banfield takes the mark. Just on the defensive side of centre. Campbell in the middle. Kicks high. Kappa has been unsighted all night. He's got a chance here and takes the mark.
Well, for the Brisbane Bears' sake and for Warwick Kappa's sake, let's hope he kicks a goal here for his own confidence and for their own scoreline, of course. But Kappa, they're doing well holding his ground and keeping his eyes on the ball.
Yes, he needs a bag of goals to lift his confidence. It's certainly great for the Bears. Kappa shoots. Swinging back all right. It's a goal.
Well, I'm sure that will give him the confidence, and certainly that will be a confidence booster for Kappa.
Well, that is great to see Kappa get that goal, as Ross said, and the fact his teammates did go and congratulate him. Larkin gets it to Hepburn, to Bryce, to Swass. Swass from 50 metres, a long driving kick. Yes, it's through. Great goal.
Point margin. The fierce-looking Mark Micken up against Bryce. Won by Micken. Well, have the Bears learned something from that? Can they emulate that feat? They've shoveled it down towards that half-forward line. It's socket off the ground by German down towards centre wing. Unable to control it is Walsh, and the ball beats him and goes over the line. I'd imagine that person would be fairly happy at the moment with that scoreline. Not saying a lot, but happy. So, and McDonald jostling for front spot. McIver in front of the pack. Gets it clear. And the hurried kick by young Chris O'Sullivan going down towards that half-forward line, where it will be relayed back to David O'Keefe. He will see his opponent kick it towards centre wing. Oh, Dwyer dropped what he should have taken.
Perfect example there, Sandy, of a player who knew what he wanted to do when he took that ball and knew he had space behind him He'd already disposed of the ball before it actually reached his hands.
He was off and running, Ross.
So 5 goals the margin. Throw in. Reynoldsson over the top. Siri tries to do the shepherding work. Ashcroft claim. McIver tries to get it out to Reynoldsson. Onto Walsh. A high kick into the middle. Kick it. Doesn't get a good bounce. Campbell tries to tap it back, but does not succeed. Ross Smith is clear through the centre. He loses his boot, but it doesn't matter. He kicks in towards full forward. Over the back it goes. Who's going to be first to it? Hardy is there, and defensively pushes it over the head of Brendan Phillips. Not out of trouble yet. Picking it up now, or trying to pick it up on that occasion, was his teammate in O'Keefe. Couldn't do so, and we will see another throw in. On the outer side, Hepburn and Reynoldsson out the back. Siri couldn't take it, neither could Gastev, who virtually spooned it clear. Hardy taps it further on, but straight to McDonald. Donald McDonald from 60 metres decides upon a little chip, which was sensible, gives it across to Larkin. He's in the pocket, shoots across the face of goal. Plenty of holding on going on there. The umpire has come down, said this time it is against North Melbourne. It will be taken by Rod Lester-Smith, and Paul Bryce not remonstrating to any great extent.
Well, see, he did infringe this time. Lester-Smith in front, right full backwards position, and Paul Bryce infringing that contest.
Well, the umpire's doing an excellent job tonight, and they've rewarded a few good tackles, which is good to see too, as the ball comes over the back to Brenton Phillips, former Essendon player and South Australian also. Tapped away by Mark Roberts. Ooh, Walsh nearly had his head taken off then by Buckley there. Umpire paying the advantage here to Mark Williams. He hooks it back cleverly. It was well done, but it mightn't work with their advantage. There's a holding the man against McIver, and it will go the way of Ross Smith, who just keeps working away every week on that half-back line. Well, he might even be in the back pocket at the moment as he kicks it to half-foot. Very rarely plays a bad game, Ross Smith. Good play, Matthew Campbell. Plenty of dash. Long driving kick, a 60-metre one. At the back is Micken. Capper in front. Micken's got it. Hand pass cleverly to Merritt. He's caught. Goes to ground. Umpire calls play on. It's in front of the Bears' goal. Ashcroft is there. Micken also. A chance for Capper. He's lost it. Donald McDonald. A lot of dash. Comes away with the ball on the left foot. Brings it out to German. German swings it back further afield to half forward. Jimmy Cracker in front. Doesn't get a favourable bounce, and Dale Dixon takes it over the line, half forward for North.
There's some Peter Knight's making a change. He's taken Brenton Phillips off the ground, who's having all sorts of trouble with Derek Kickett. Mark Zanotti coming on the ground for the Bears, having played the last 2 games in the reserves, and hopefully he'll get back into league football for Brisbane.
Bears also preparing to bring Lachlan Sim onto the ground as well. Buckley gets the hand pass across to Dwyer. Good looking football down towards the forward line once again. Bryce was there. Phil Cracker looking for the free kick. Will get it.
Yes, Sandy, one of the most adept players at that type of play, along with Peter Dacos, his brother. Not Peter Dacos, his brother, but Phil's brother Jim Cracker. Very clever when the ball's on the ground and they've got players pressuring them from behind.
Cracker running round, pulling it back. Oh, it's a fair kick. Better than a fair kick, it's a beauty.
Well, Phil Cracker's second only game this year for North Melbourne, having spent some time in the reserves trying to recuperate from some knee problems, and just showing the skill of the man and the confidence. See the free kick here. Yes, well played, cleverly done. Kevin Bartlett, Peter Dacos style, whatever you like, but a very clever goal from Phil Cracker.
This is the greatest lead we've seen in this game. A margin of 36 points. It's the biggest lead so far in the match. Swash gets claimed. Siri plays on. North into attack once again. Phil Cracker tries to tap on. Hardy gets claimed. Jim Cracker overruns it. Gastev gets away. Gives it to Campbell, who can usually kick long. Towards Capper on the 50-metre line. He flicks it on towards Roberts. Roberts in turn flicks it further forward. No one there, however, and a chance for North Melbourne through Allison to take it clear. Across to the outer side. Larkin takes the mark. Plays on quickly to McGrath. Will go back again. North methodically out of trouble. Over centre wing. Up towards the half-forward line. Hepburn is there. Keeps the ball in play. Dwyer cannot, however, on that occasion. With him was Walsh. And we shall see a throw-in on the outer side.
Steve Reynolson sitting on the Brisbane Bears bench with Brenton Phillips. Reynolson hasn't had a lot of football this year, so his fitness wouldn't be 100%. There's Peter German, a quick kick. Bryce, a diving attempt, an excellent attempt, and he is using his body beautifully, Ross.
Yes, he is, and as I mentioned, that first quarter in front nearly on every occasion. The only other occasion that Lester Smith was in front, he did get a free kick for, but again, Bryce showing strong hands, good body work, and alternating the ruck with Donald McDonald being very effective for North Melbourne.
Well, they're both extremely enthusiastic players. They attack the ball ferociously, and well, if you're doing that at full forward, it's a good chance for your little men around you too. Paul Bryce going for goal number 3, and I think he's put it through. Yes.
Lester Smith kicks back in play. Walsh coming over the top. Reynolds now trying to use his body against Hepburn, but it's Dwyer, the victor, on to kick it. On to Jimmy Cracker, who goes to Phil Cracker. Smith got it wide, but lost it. It was Dixon on to Hardy. Hardy, a spiral punt kick. Over the centre he goes. Over the head of Buckley, who's got pace, and he's also got support. This is Allison. Back to the centre, Schwass. Someone running, Ross Smith. A high, long kick in towards full forward. Cracker will wait down, and a good mark. Taken at the back by Rod Lester Smith. They'll send him back, and he'll kick over the mark. So we've only seen 2 goals scored in this quarter so far. A game of defences, really. As O'Sullivan initiates the chain of hand passes. The Bears desperately wanting a couple of quick goals. Capper and Martin, a good old duel down there in the forward line. Walsh and Dwyer. They're still going. Now Buckley has come in to assist. Well, courage by Ben Buckley, because Phillips wanted to soccer it off the ground. Gets it across to Schwass, who kicks beautifully in towards half forward. He's got Hepburn there, back to Spargo. Spargo has a look, decides to go short. Clever football by North Melbourne, as they, both sides in fact, prepare to make a change. Donald McDonald will kick for his second goal.
Yes, Ashcroft off the ground for the Brisbane Bears, and Lachlan Sim coming on.
And John McCarthy standing by for another run for North Melbourne as McDonald. From 45 metres, off the side of the boot, kick it. Oh, he just slipped at the critical stage. That's how tough it is for these players out there now. Lester Smith on to Dixon, claimed by Jim Cracker. Jim taken away by German. On to Bryce, back in towards, kick it again. He's a real battler on the bottom of the pack. German is claimed, gets a quick kick. Phil Cracker tries to flick it back into play. Plenty of desperation down there, and finally flicked through for one behind.
John McCarthy preparing to come onto the ground. Not a bad interchange player. John McCarthy was in great form early in the year.
Almost made Victorian selection, Peter.
Yes, and well, North started him on the bench. There's McIver getting it to Phillips, who's having a better quarter. And the Bears have had a much better quarter than their first half of football. John Law chips it across, finds Buckley. Buckley again with a chip pass to Bryce. Bryce took his eyes off that one. Oh, and that was a very lucky free kick, but he's got it. Centre of the ground. Now he kicks it high. Not a lot of penetration in that kick. Over the back was Reynolson. Hepburn in front. Umpire said it was touched by Reynolson first, and I think it might have been too.
Yes, again, the crowd not happy with it, but the umpire in the right position there angled that kick very well.
Well, both players probably got a hand to that first bite. Ian Clayton at half forward bounces it at the 50-metre line. Jimmy Cracker. Oh, brilliantly done by the little rover. What great play that was. What a top goal.
Yes, well, if you ever wanted a bit of inspiration to get your side going, no better player to provide that than Jim Cracker. Again, reading that game, or the ball, should I say, very well off hands. And he's so accurate around goal with one step and a kick. We see it on replay here from the boundary, or from the ball up. Cracker reading it beautifully. Likes a torpedo shot at goal as Jim Cracker, and kicking that one truly. And acknowledging the effort of Paul Bryce having kicked the goal.
So we're out to a 45-point margin now to North Melbourne after Jim Cracker kicks his first goal for the night. Reynoldsson preparing to do the ruck work up against Hepburn. Hepburn pushes it wide. Bryce taps it further field. Campbell could have got into the back. He has, said the umpire, and David Dwyer. 60 metres out, too far out to score. He tries to let fly with a torpedo punt kick. Waiting down in front is Zanotti. Elects to go wide towards Lachlan Sim, but coming over the top, taking a fine mark is Brett Allison. Plays on, North Melbourne in towards Bryce again. This time O'Keefe chips in and takes the mark. Play on is the call. Cracker applies the tackle. He sockers it off the ground, and the diving mark has been taken by Paul Spargo.
Peter, can you tackle from behind?
Well, he did on that occasion. The umpire let him get away with it. I don't think you can.
Cracker. Schwass now onto the left foot in towards the pocket. Bryce or Hardy. Neither will get there in time. It's another throw.
The only thing, if he ran off his direct course, Ross, maybe the umpire said he did.
Throw in. Push down in front. Gastev can't take it at the first attempt. Gets it at the second, however. And the Bears out of trouble. Towards McIver on that outer side. There's a kick from Banfield as McIver puts them in towards Merritt. Merritt marks well, is forced onto the left foot. Long in towards Micken. And he takes the mark in front of John Law.
That's what they've got to do, Sandy. They've got to bring the ball down the ground very quickly to give their forwards a chance to run us some space and not allow the North Melbourne backmen and followers to get back and block them up. And that occasion, Mark Micken reading the game very well, getting in front of John Law.
Pretty tight angle for Micken. He's kicked 1 goal today. And he's kicked his second. Good kick.
Plays 6-9. Asiri. Ball held to him. Time clock showing just over 7 minutes of play left in this third quarter. There's little Mark Asiri. He's been a brilliant player for North Melbourne. A very underrated player, Asiri. And must have been very close to Victorian selection, I would think. Now, which way will the umpire see that one? He's going Hepburn's way against Merritt. Hepburn from the centre of the ground. A long driving kick too. Players set themselves now. Was that a mark? I think McCarthy, I don't think he got first grab. There's Peter German waiting at the base of the pack. And I think that was good umpiring. I'm sure McCarthy didn't get first grab of that mark.
Just tip of the fingers, really. He got it on the second grab, but well called by the umpire. 40
points the difference. The Bears in trouble as they've tried hard all night, but they've been badly undermanned. Holding, well, a shepherding decision against Buckley. Ian Clayton showed there. Ben Buckley from 60 metres, very crowded forward line, and they've been kicking long all night, North Melbourne. Here's a chance again for McCarthy. Fisted away from him over the line, deep in that forward pocket. Lester Smith has battled hard all night, Ross, and has not thrown in the towel on any occasion.
No, he's been a much better player after that first 15 minutes or so in that first quarter where Bryce gave him a bit of trouble.
Just under 6 minutes remaining. The Bears, if they can score perhaps a couple of quick goals, can really fight it out in the final term. They're looking for something to get back on the winners list. It's been a hard, tough road for them so far in 89. North Melbourne, on the other hand, will be looking to regain a spot in the 5. Banfield's hurried kick towards O'Keefe and Gastev. German chasing, so too Buckley. Zanotti puts his body in the way. Kick it now with skill. Tried to get it out towards Cracker. Lester Smith intercepts and then cleverly sockers it forward. Now a chance for McIver to get it across to Brendan Phillips, but he's claimed. Well tackled. Lachlan Sim back to Banfield, on to Hardy at the second attempt. A short little kick, intercepted by Ross Smith. Now a chance for North to go forward. It's German on the outer side. Centres the football, looking for Hepburn, and he marks at the second attempt.
And again, the Brisbane Bears causing themselves trouble, handballing unnecessarily instead of kicking long out of defence.
Mark Hepburn fancies his chances from 50 metres. He hasn't scored a goal tonight. In comes the left footer. Oh, it's a high kick. Deep in towards goal as it made the distance. No, one behind. 13-8 plays 6-9. That young man is distraught. Lester Smith to Merritt. Oh, well smothered by Hepburn. Down towards Lester Smith once again. Claimed by Cracker. That was Jim Dixon in trouble. And eventually the ball pushed out of his hands for one behind.
And Roger Merritt trying to bring the ball back from between that half-back line and full-back line through the centre of the ground, and a great smother from Mark Hepburn.
Lester Smith again. Well, he's kicking to O'Keefe, who's got to beat a couple. Now he gets help. It's pushed over the line by Philip Walsh. And a throw in almost down to centre wing. Just on 3.5 minutes remaining in this third quarter. Merritt with strength gets clear, then pushes it up towards Reynoldson. Wants the player going past, finds him in McIver. Passes wide towards Banfield. With him is Spargo. Socket off the ground. Was it out of bounds on the full? Yes, it was. So Peter Banfield electing it to go short. McIver back to Banfield. He's clear on 50 metres. Centres it in towards Kappa. At the back is Kappa. He shoots in towards goal but misses.
Well, Warwick Kappa did the right thing, stayed on the ground as Micken contested that ball, but then his snap at goal just inaccurate.
And the North Melbourne crowd delighted that Kappa missed, and Martin the hero down there, the North supporters. His dad Brian Martin was a ruckman in the 50s for North Melbourne, a real workhorse many years ago. There's McIver. Over the top, Lachlan Sim is number 20, tried to tap it on. Oh, great skills, Larkin. Beautiful play, Larkin. Long kick down to McCarthy. McCarthy cleverly to Jimmy Cracker. Over the top to his brother Phil. Over to John McCarthy. McCarthy ducking around trying to get a shot at goal. Hooks it back to the pocket. German. And a good strong chest mark. Deep in that forward pocket. He'll be on a pretty tight angle. And let's see if he'll run around. He'll be taken right around, but as we see the replay, Ross.
There's a good kick. He actually had kick it out on his right-hand side, but he obviously didn't see him. Kick it was very clear. And a good mark to German.
Peter German from 5 metres out, kicks and goals.
In fact, Peter German's been reasonably quiet tonight, but in kicking 2 goals has been effective from that point of view in a reasonably low-scoring game. But the Cracker brothers there having a big hand in that contest there. Great knowledge of where the other player was. McCarthy actually going the wrong way. He's not a bad left foot kick. He should have gone back on his left then. He could have had a shot at goal, but German in good position.
(14-9) North Melbourne. Brisbane a 6-10. And we have under 2 minutes of this third quarter remaining here at the MCG. So the Roos leading by almost 8 goals. A big ask for the Bears to come back. Reynoldson preparing to do the ruck work up against Hepburn. Reynoldson wins it down towards McIver, who gets it onto Hardy. A quick hurried kick down towards the half-forward flank. Jim Cracker is there.
Hamstring.
Oh, that's bad news for North Melbourne. Larkin to half forward, kick it sandwiched. Jimmy Cracker is just standing still, favouring that leg. McCarthy, can he make amends this time and goal? Looks pretty good. He has.
Well, John McCarthy giving the North forwards or the North players something to kick to, but I think their main concern at the moment might be Jim Cracker, who appeared to just pull up, having chased that ball very ferociously with Matthew Larkin behind him, and him bending down to pick it up on the half volley to strain his leg, although he's going to stay on the ground. But I dare say he'd be a little bit ginger in one of those hamstrings.
He probably didn't have to sprint as hard as that either.
No,
he was about 30 metres clear.
Jim Cracker doesn't go half pace though, Peter.
15-9 to 6-10. Hepburn out of the centre. Reynoldson can't take it away. Just on 1 minute remaining. Spargo working hard at the bottom of the pack. Goes in towards Kickett at half forward. He's under plenty of pressure. It's pushed wide. Still going towards the boundary line is O'Keefe, and eventually taken over. In fact, it was Phillips eventually taken over, and a throw in to take place. Sort of night where you should really rug up here at the MCG. Reynolds plucks it out of the air. Gives it away to O'Sullivan, but his opposing number 15, Ross Smith, intercepts it. German uses strength to give it back to Smith. High in towards full forward. Oh, it's a great mark. Bryce has kicked 3 goals, and he's looking for North Melbourne's 16th now.
Yes, for mine, if it wasn't a mark, it certainly would have been a free kick, Sandy.
So Paul Bryce. 1 goal in the first quarter, 2 in the second. And on the siren, going for his 4th goal. The left foot kick. Straight through the middle for goal number 4. Larkin gets a hurried kick. Goes probably 20 metres. Campbell picks it up, pulls it high. Capper may fly from behind. No, he doesn't. It was Martin who pushed it down wide. Buckley gets the hand pass away to Schwass. Loses it at the first attempt, but he's got plenty of backup support. And North Melbourne through Jeff Chandler. Go over the centre. Gastev, who got it towards Zanotti. His kick is a poor one. Straight to Arsieri. High and low. Oh, what a mark! Taken by John McCarthy. What a screamer!
And Steve Reynoldson's got a sore head, Sandy.
Oh, and he is no jockey. What a grab. There's the mark of the night. Can he finish it off? McCarthy shoots. I think he's goal. What a performance.
Yes, and John McCarthy's teammates letting him know what a great effort that was. Terrific mark, and without doubt, mark of the night, particularly in these conditions with a greasy ball. And showing great versatility is John McCarthy, having played most of the season at centre-half back and doing very, very well in that position for a player who's not overly tall, would be lucky to make Smith put 1, and a terrific kick to score a goal from there.
And the 8,634 fans seeing it on the big screen in replay. The North Melbourne fans in particular delighted.
A lot of ability, John McCarthy. A big job for him last week. He had to play on Tony Lockett. Now, this is Matthew Campbell. He's worked pretty hard tonight onto the left foot. He's good on both sides of the body. Towards half forward. Martin, the big fist away. Travels 30 metres. Reynolson, I don't think he's recovered from that, having his head stood on. Lovely little chip pass. McCarthy looking like a full forward. Good play by Spargo to get it to him. And good to see a man leading straight up the ground.
Yes, and good play there by the North Melbourne players to persist as that ball went over Ben Buckley's head. Just turned around and ran as hard as he could. Spargo came through and collided with his teammate, in fact, but still came out with the ball and a fine pass to John McCarthy.
John McCarthy's kick 2, going for goal number 3. A lovely kick. It's another one.
The Brisbane Bears players just getting caught out there. They were stopping and propping, hoping the ball would sit up for them. Didn't commit themselves as hard as they should have. I'm sure Peter Knights will be addressing that problem in his post-match address to the players. But John McCarthy coming on in that third quarter to full forward, kicking 3 goals, has complemented Paul Bryce with 4 and Donald McDonald at that full forward position.
(18-9) plays 6-10. Very important that the Brisbane Bears fight back here and don't let North overrun them, particularly after their drubbing last week. There's Lachlan Sim, a quick kick down towards the pocket. Kappa has it taken away by Chandler. This is Larkin going in after it. Kappa taps it on cleverly. Now it's with Mark Williams, and that quick kick off the side of the boot is marked by John Law.
Law looks for Arsieri on the outer side and finds him. Roger Merritt makes sure that he's going nowhere fast, but he gets the hand pass across to Tim McGrath, who goes over the centre. The race is on. Gastev gets clear, gets the hand pass away, but good interception. sees that ball once again over the line. Derek Kickett, a most exciting young player. From the throw-in, as the Bears make another change, off is McIver, and coming back onto the ground is Rod Lester-Smith. Speaking of Smiths, it's socket off the ground through the legs of Reynoldsson. Dixon now claimed by German, but the whistle had sounded, and it will be a Bears free kick, and it will be taken by Steve Reynoldsson. Well, he plays on, gets around Spargo, goes from one side of the square to the other. Merritt taps down in front. Williams tries to storm through. Smith claims him. And so another bounce. 117 plays 46. Merritt. Socket wide. Schwartz. The quick hand pass. Buckley under pressure, but he gets the hand pass out to Larkin. On to Chandler. Goes wide. Oh, good smother by Steve Reynoldsson, who's recovered after getting the sprig marks in the back. Lester-Smith takes the hand pass and kicks down towards Mark Williams on the right half forward flank. He cannot get clear, however, and the ball goes over the line. Good persistent chasing work by Ross Smith. And an interested spectator there in John Northey. Melbourne coach. Bryce goes it alone, down to Schwartz. Going past is Larkin. With him is German. He decides to pull it back in short. Clever play. The chance now for Brett Allison. Good looking kick. And he finds Phil Cracker. McCarthy's calling for it. Will he fly again?
What a great kick from Phil Cracker, but a terrific lead up by the North players coming from that half back line. Very precise disposal of the ball, and Phil Cracker with that word, great vision again, seeing McCarthy coming out of his right hand side, and a terrific kick.
So McCarthy going for goal number 4, and he's got it.
Well, I mentioned it before, John McCarthy, 3 goals in this last quarter, 4 for the match. Great focal point for North Melbourne, with Paul Bryce working hard on the ruck, having kicked 4 goals in that first 3 quarters, and Donald McDonough on the bench now. North Melbourne making great use of their big fellows, or bigger players. They're not exactly the biggest players in the league. McCarthy again there showing a great leap and a great pair of hands in these conditions.
What an exciting start to the last quarter for John McCarthy. 3 goals in something like 8 minutes.
Bryce again to Allison, to Larkin, and that time the pass was offline. Unlike many of the North Melbourne passes tonight, this is Gastev from half back. Allison sets himself in front and takes a good strong mark to Larkin. The running players are there. Buckley brings it to a half forward, and O'Sullivan gets it out of defence and finds Rod Lester-Smith now playing on the forward line. Very important that the Bears finish on in this final quarter. He's looking for Capper. He's caught behind. He's playing without any confidence whatsoever, Capper. That was Schwartz to Ross Smith. McGrath at half back. Young Tim McGrath. Oh, beautiful kick to the centre of the ground. He's found German. German over the top to Allison. Brett Allison, an open goal. Stabs at it. And it's another one to North. Developing into a bit of a hiding for the Bears. North Melbourne full of running. Here they come again. Marcus Seary. The long kick to half forward, but the mark has been taken by Merritt.
The margin is 83 points at the moment. Roger Merritt. Back over the centre once again. Reynoldsson flew high, unable to take it. Sim gets a quick kick down towards the half-forward line. The North Melbourne defence is rock-like. Schwartz gets it away. The chance now for Chandler. Onto the left foot, but Merritt is there once again. Oh, doesn't take the mark on this occasion. Time to recover across to Zanotti. Back he goes to Micken. The left footer towards half-forward. Williams trying to use the body at the back of the pack. They quickly pounce upon it. And umpire Clayton will come in and have a bounce. Mark Williams copping one in the left eye, or just below it. But he's a tough nut to crack. Coming from a great footballing family in South Australia. Allison punches wide. Schwash soccers off the ground. And we will see a throw in at centre wing. $20 goals, 9 plays 6-10. So another disappointing night for the Bears. Through Banfield it goes. Allison gets it on to Larkin. Where's McCarthy? Can't get a leap at it on that occasion. Phil Cracker, and kick it! Kick it onto the left foot! There's another one. No, he's missed. Off to the left.
Derek Kickett had a couple of options there, Sandy. He could have handballed too. Nevertheless, he was quite within his rights to have a shot at goal from that distance.
Dale Dixon has been down there in defence tonight. They've been bombarded. That Brisbane Bears defence. So punch away comes to Gastev, also playing down in defence. The quick kick is by Brendan Phillips. It's a good one too because he's found Lester Smith. Now, very balanced player, Lester Smith, as he brings it to half forward. Mark Williams. He's had a hard night on Ben Buckley. Good play by Williams. The leader's on by Kappa. Can he get there? Martin's also there. No, he couldn't get there. And Ross Smith is put down after he kicked it by Kappa. Martin's going down to remonstrate with him. And the ball is, there they are. I don't think it's anything too serious. There's 2 on 1. He's not getting much support, Kappa. Now he is. And the umpire's called play on Kickett's pushed in the centre of the back. The umpire ignored that one. Micken to Merritt. The play goes on. Merritt's caught by Kickett. Gets in the hand pass to O'Sullivan. Now it's Peter Banfield from 60 metres. Kappa at the back flies. Still can't take a mark down there. Warwick Kappa. Schwass to Bryce. Oh, cleverly handballed it. This is Chandler. Jeff Chandler straight up in the air. Allison. Oh, well done. Tremendous use of the body, but Micken gets his boot to it. John Law can't take it. Mark Williams cleverly gets it onto Banfield. Now, Martin in front. Kappa the big fly. It's just not springing like he did a couple of years ago. Chandler takes it away, and a long kick is out to Marcus Siri. The little rover brings it to half forward. Phillips at the back. German at the front. And it will probably be forced over the line by Philip Walsh. It is. And the throw-in will take place at centre wing.
84 points the margin. Favouring North Melbourne, just over 13 minutes remaining. Micken to Walsh. Smothered, however. Through the legs of Law. Larkin shows aggression. Law again. North Melbourne persisting and winning out. Oh, fine mark by Peter German. Plays on to Larkin. From 60 metres, he centres the football, looking for McCarthy. Comes out now. It passes him by, however. Pushed towards the half-back flank, where it will drift over the line, and we will see another throw-in. There was a real buzz now when North Melbourne rip it down into that forward zone. Micken beaten by Bryce on that occasion. McGrath claimed. Spargo onto Allison. Danger again. Arceri from 40 metres. Mark Arceri shoots, but he's pulled it too far.
Yes, well, Mark Arceri not as accurate as he normally is. A couple of points tonight. I mentioned earlier in the first quarter, he and Ian Fairley, the leading goal kickers for North Melbourne, with 17 and 18 goals apiece.
O'Keefe looking for Lester Smith. The back is Reynolds. Gets it on to Micken. Back to Gastev. Towards centre wing. And a good mark taken by Ross Smith. Well, he's like a tractor, this man. Start him up and he just keeps on going. To Bryce. May have to go back to Smith again. Does eventually. And Smith kicks high. And Micken goes up uncontested. Mark Micken. To centre wing. Kappa trying to flick it over the back. Gets it on to Lachlan Simmer. Short kick. Clever kick to Hardy. Well, he's going to have Williams on the square. Larkin dropping back there now. He goes wide, slewed slightly off the side of the boot. McGrath has the chance for North Melbourne if he can just push it forward towards Arceri. He does so cleverly, and once again the Northerners out of trouble. It's Peter German on the outer side, has one bounce, looks in towards the forward pocket region. Thumped clear. Over the top came Walsh. Kickett picks it up, gets it back to German, goes inboard to Cracker. Cracker from 35 metres shoots and has gone.